Hi, this is Patrick for the Week 7 article assignment presentation. The article I chose is Prospect Theory and the Effects of Bankruptcy Laws on Entrepreneurial Aspirations. And this study is really focused on looking at how entrepreneurs make decisions based on favorable personal and corporate bankruptcy laws, as well as their own internal projection of where they want the venture to go. So if they have a higher aspiration, so if they see their venture as becoming a really large company with dozens of employees and many stores, or if they prefer to stay as a small venture, and how those different factors affect their decisions. So the article starts by laying out what they call prospect theory, and it's a proposition for how these entrepreneurs are making their decisions at the initial onset of the venture. And historically, they've used a utilitarian approach to describing how these individuals make decisions. So they'll say that entrepreneurs that are about to start a venture will look at the probability of success or failure and make a determination based on that probability. But they found that in the literature that doesn't seem quite accurate, that doesn't seem true, and so they propose a different lens with which to view these decisions, and it's called prospect theory. And in prospect theory, they take the assumption that an individual weighs consequences higher than any positive effects. So they see punishment as creating a stronger stimulus in an individual than any sort of positive effect would. And so for entrepreneurs, that means that in areas where they have unfavorable laws, depending on if they have high aspiration or a smaller business aspiration, they would weigh those things differently. So to try and to bring those three different elements together, a entrepreneur that has higher aspirations would be more likely to gravitate toward a company, a nation that has favorable corporate laws, because they're trying to build a larger enterprise, and so they'll be more likely to engage in a limited liability corporation, and so corporate laws would be the avenue that they would be following in their venture. And so any countries that have more favorable laws toward that, they would find that to be good for them, and they would be willing to start the venture there. Versus in an environment where maybe they have stricter corporate laws, and maybe they wouldn't want to launch the venture, and so they'll kind of squash entrepreneurial aspirations as a whole for that particular group. And so the other side of the coin would be entrepreneurs that are wanting to have a venture in a small business setting. They'd be more likely to want to grow their entrepreneurial endeavor in an environment that's favorable toward personal bankruptcy laws, because they're more likely to engage in a sole proprietorship or some sort of partnership, a smaller endeavor. And so they found through scrounging through a lot of metadata that their hypotheses on these areas were correct, and that entrepreneurs that have high aspirations or wish to maintain smaller businesses really do make those decisions based on the decision to launch their venture based on favorable corporate or personal bankruptcy laws. So that is it for this week. Thank you for listening.